One OU associate dean resigns after his controversial views were published. President Trump sent his first nationwide emergency alert. Plus, Oklahoma's NROTC starts their run to the Cotton Bowl. This is OU Nightly.
Hello, thanks for joining us at OU Nightly. I'm Lauren Linville.
And I'm Kyle Payne. We begin tonight with the resignation of a well-known member of the OU College of Law over his controversial comments. Inside the college today, meetings were scheduled to be held with students, faculty, and staff to explain more about what happened with the resignation over a book. OU Nightly's Collin Kennedy joins us now with more on what's going on. Collin?
Thanks, Kyle. The Associate Dean of OU's College of Law, Brian McCall, has resigned following the uncovering of his controversial views. McCall wrote a book back in 2014 entitled To Build the City of God, Living as Catholics in a Secular Age. In the book, McCall refers to rules of dress for women, including that they should not wear pants. In addition, he wrote that women should hide their forms and that no woman or girl in his family is allowed to wear pants. In the book, he also calls gay marriage insanity. Now, Joseph Harris, the dean of OU Law School, said in an official statement, "I can now tell you that the independent review has uncovered no evidence of workplace harassment or discrimination." Despite this conclusion, Brian McCall has voluntarily resigned his position as Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, effective immediately because of the controversy about his personal statements. Now, McCall resigned as Associate Dean, but he will stay on as a faculty member. I did reach out to 4 campus organizations about this matter, including Gender Equality and Student Affairs. No one in those offices wanted to give a comment at this time. We'll continue to follow this story, but for now, I'm Collin Kennedy. Back to you two.
Thank you, Collin. A man arrested in Moore who escaped from police was taken back into custody all the way in Missouri this morning. 24-year-old Walter Blunt was a suspect at the scene of a car break-in last week. Moore police say he managed to escape from handcuffs and dive out of the window of a patrol car. The Newton County, Missouri Sheriff's Office said they found Blunt after he had wrecked a stolen car. He caught authorities' attention when he used stolen credit cards after he fled.
For the first time ever, Americans nationwide received a notification from President Donald Trump. The alert, which sounded off at 1:18 this afternoon, was the first test of a national presidential alert system that would allow any president to issue a warning about a crisis. FEMA officials estimated that roughly 225 million electronic devices received the notification, covering nearly 75% of mobile phones in the country. The alert can be used if the public is in danger. It cannot be used for a personal message on the president's behalf. My front door popped wide open today, Lauren. I don't know why.
Yeah, I almost got knocked over by the wind walking to class. Well, Marisa and Nuzzo joins us with more on those gusty winds across the state. Marisa?
Well, clearly, Kyle needs a new door on his apartment, but those wind gusts outside are very high. Currently, 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts here in Norman and even higher out to the north near Enid and 28 out in Woodward. So it's very windy. If you're having a bad hair day, you better keep yourself under control because those winds are not going anywhere, and I will have more information about that later. But those current temperatures, 87 here in Norman and warmer out towards the Panhandle, but all of that is going to change. Coming up, we have a wet weekend ahead, and I have your OU Texas forecast.
Well, thank you, Marisa. Toys R Us declared bankruptcy last year. Ashley Eddy joins us now to discuss the possibility of the toy giant reopening its doors once again. Ashley?
Owners of Toys R Us are looking into restarting the business along with the Babies R Us brand. This comes after Toys R Us declared bankruptcy a year ago and closed their business down completely in June. Toys R Us planned to auction off the rights to its name and the Babies R Us brand. Bidders had already made offers, but the company's owners canceled the auction. The details of when and how the brand would be brought back have not yet been disclosed. And last night at a campaign rally, President Donald Trump spoke on Christine Blasey Ford's testimony.
36 years ago, this happened. I had one beer, right? I had one beer. Well, do you think it was? Nope, it was one beer. Oh, good. How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know.
Many people took this as Trump mocking Ford. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says Trump was just simply stating facts. And the North Korean government attempted to steal over $1.1 billion in attacks on global banks on behalf of Kim Jong-un's regime. According to a new report from cybersecurity watchdog, these attacks were against operations in at least 11 countries. The report also states that the institutions targeted by the group have successfully stolen over $100 million since 2014. And Lauren, a surf resort in Waco, Texas, is now closed and water is being tested. This comes after a man died from a brain-eating amoeba after visiting the resort.
Thank you, Ashley.
Apple announced an update that puts OU students in rare company. We have more on why losing your student ID is a thing of the past.
Plus, Oklahoma's candidates for governor debate on funding for mental health in our state. We'll tell you who said what when OU Nightly continues. Welcome back to OU Nightly. OU students can now use their student ID on a mobile device instead of having the physical card. Yesterday, Apple announced OU is one of the 3 universities in the country to offer this option. OU Nightly's Steele went to Sooner Card here to find out how students can use it.
It's as easy as 1-2 tap now, because the Sooner Card is now an Apple Wallet.
I think that's pretty cool because I feel like a lot of people, they have, or that's like a common struggle that students have, like losing their card.
This option allows students access to the dorms, dining hall, gym, library, and campus events, all by simply using their iPhone or Apple Watch. The university sent students an email describing how to get it set up.
Whenever they came out with this, it was great because I already had my credit card in there, had my Apple Sooner card in here, and now I don't even bring a wallet around me anymore.
Sooner Card hopes this option prevents students from having to purchase or replace their IDs.
Yeah, these are all the cards that have been found on campus.
While the mobile ID option was recently announced, there's already been lots of excitement about it.
We've had a lot of people come in asking us how they can get there, and we can see the excitement in other people.
And for those of you who are Android users, there's no need to fret because this option is also available on your devices. But the Sooner Card staff here say that the iOS versions are just a little bit more updated. I'm Sammi Steele, OU Nightly.
Questions or concerns related to getting the student ID on your phone, visit Sooner Card at the location in the Union or in Stubman Place near Adams Tower.
We're now just 33 days away from the election, and the candidates for governor are talking about several issues. Taitum Wilson joins us with what they're discussing when it comes to mental health. Taitum?
Kyle, gubernatorial candidates spoke at a forum hosted by the Oklahoma Behavioral Health Association yesterday afternoon. Democrat Drew Edmondson and Republican Kevin Stitt both say they support increased spending on mental health services and addiction treatment, but differed on how they would get funding. Edmondson says he plans to raise taxes on oil and gas production and eliminate the capital gains tax deduction to raise money for mental health services. Stitt says an improving economy will create more revenue without raising taxes. He also says Oklahoma should look to other states and adopt their successful policies on mental health care and addiction treatment. According to the Department of Mental Health, currently just 1/3 of Oklahomans who need mental health or addiction treatment get it. And the Oklahoma County District Attorney says any investigation into State Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister is dead. The DA charged Hoffmeister in 2016 with felony accounts of accepting illegal donations in her 2014 campaign and conspiring to break campaign funding laws. The confirmation of the investigation's end comes a year after the DA dropped the charges, claiming they could be refiled. Hoffmeister is running for a second term this election cycle against Democratic nominee John Cox. The undergraduate student Congress at OU passed legislation last night to encourage voter participation. Congress passed a bill to fund voter registration drives and a resolution on the importance of voter registration. The bill will use the Congressional Initiative Fund to provide materials for the drives. The voter registration deadline is October 12th.
Taitum, it's good to see the university doing something to encourage young people to vote, considering it's a problem in the state.
That deadline's going to sneak up on us before we know it, so hopefully it helps everyone get registered.
Yeah, well, thank you.
On August 18th, the Backstreet Boys were scheduled to perform at the WinStar Casino near the Texas border before an entranceway collapsed. Today, they said they will not be rescheduling a show for the fans who missed out on their concert. Due to winds up to 80 miles per hour, the collapse sent 14 people to the hospital, and 150 guests were still inside even after the building was evacuated. The band still plans on performing in Dallas and Tulsa next year.
Members from the OU NROTC are honoring the Red River Showdown this weekend in a special way.
But people staying in Norman might be in for a wet weekend. Marisa has more on the forecast.
Norman and Dallas have some rain in the forecast. I have all the details coming up next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. It is a beautiful day in Norman, but it feels a little bit more like summer than it does fall, and that is going to continue overnight tonight and for the next few days. So our lows tonight are almost 20 degrees above the normal for this time of year, 73 degrees for your low tonight here in Norman, and that warm trend is going to continue for tomorrow, heating up to 87 degrees with south winds 10 to 15, so those warm southerly winds contributing to that heat. And now let's take a look at your temperature forecast for the next few days. So this is Friday at 7 p.m. We have this cold air mass that is going to move across Oklahoma, and it is going to reach Norman around 9:15 on Saturday morning. So our high temperature on Saturday is going to be around 7 a.m. We'll be in the 70s, and then throughout the day it is going to get cooler, not warmer, cooler. And then as this starts to mix out, it'll warm up a little bit, and then it'll cool down again overnight. And Dallas will not be impacted by this cold front. Their temperatures will not decrease, but this cold front is bringing some rain. Most of the rain will begin on Saturday here in Norman, Saturday morning. As that cold front comes through, we're going to have that rain. And then around 9 p.m. on Saturday, some of that rain is going to start falling in Dallas. And then throughout the day on Sunday, if you're driving home from Dallas on Sunday, it looks like it's going to be rain most of the day for your drive back. And then that rain is going to continue here in Norman for the rest of the week. So it looks like we're going to get an inch, in some places upwards of 4 inches. And here is your OU Texas weekend in Dallas. We do have that chance for some thunderstorms on Saturday and Sunday, mostly in the afternoon on Saturday and then overnight on Sunday. So Thursday and Friday are our last few days of summer, and then Saturday it says that our high is 56. That's not going to be our high temperature, but that's what the temperature is going to be around in the afternoon when we typically feel our high.
I'm not looking forward to the rain, but I am looking forward to the cold weather.
Yeah, rain or shine is still the best weekend of the year.
Yeah,
so.
I think that the rain will wait till the game's over, and then it'll start.
All right, I'm cool with that.
Each year in October, college football holds one of the most exciting rivalries, the Red River Showdown.
For the last 20 years, Oklahoma and Texas Reserve Officers Corps help amp up the competition by running nearly 200 miles to the Cotton Bowl, carrying the game ball.
OU Spirit Groups and head football coach Lincoln Riley came out this morning to motivate participants. Riley hands off the game ball to senior commander Matthew Lauk, and the journey begins.
It's definitely a lot of adrenaline and excitement. You know, it's one of those things where we're up earlier than this a lot of times anyway, so this is kind of sleeping in for us. But, I mean, Lincoln Riley's there, the band's there, Boomer and Sooner are there. You get to watch the game ball get handed off, and everyone starts running.
The men and women run in pre-selected shifts in pairs, while a van transporting the rest of the group leads and trails them for safety precautions. Distance logged by each group varies.
I'm not going to run from Norman to Dallas. But we break it down into run shifts. So one shift will go, and then the next shift will meet them out wherever they stop.
This year, ROTC also made the annual event a charity, dropping toys and bins which will later be distributed to deserving children for Christmas for the Marine Toys for Tots Foundation. ROTC makes sure to go a few extra miles to heat up the competition with the Longhorns before kickoff.
At the end of the week, we meet up with the University of Texas ROTC and compete with them in a couple of events. We play them in soccer, we play them in tug of war, play them in flag football. The flag football game is what we really care about.
Because what we do here and just how it culminates and mixes in with the actual rivalry, it kind of amplifies it a little bit. So if anything, it makes you just more in tune to your respective school, makes it mean a little bit more since there's a lot of stuff that goes into our end of it.
On Saturday, Locke and UT senior commander will present the game ball to the officials to begin the game.
And William Soule is here, and I know he is very excited to talk about the Rockies' big win last night.
But first, the Sooners' biggest game of the season is almost here. William?
It's rivalry week, and we will have a Red River Showdown preview and a historic night of baseball in Chicago as the Colorado Rockies pulled off a huge upset. Sports is up next. The weekend we have all been waiting for is almost here as the Sooners are set to travel to Dallas to take on the Texas Longhorns. The 113th Red River Showdown is the first time since 2012 that both schools have been ranked at the time of the game. The Red River Showdown is one of the best rivalries in all of college football, and it has only gotten better with time. But in recent years, Texas hasn't exactly held up their end of the bargain. The Longhorns have a win percentage of 46 over the last 4 years, compared to 80% from the Sooners over the same stretch. Oklahoma has won the last 2 matchups. And Meridith Mulkey is here to tell us how the players are mentally preparing for the game. Meridith?
Yeah, William, the team is getting ready for their biggest rivalry game of the season against Texas. And while they try to treat it like any other game, they know it's not really just another game.
My freshman year, the coaches, they emphasized on it that it would be a different atmosphere. And me being a freshman, I didn't know what to expect. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to treat it like another game. And going in for pregame warm-ups, it was not a regular game. I felt it as soon as I walked outside on the field.
Just the energy level and, you know, the compassion of the fans and you know, how serious the state of Oklahoma takes it.
You know, obviously, you know, coming home to play Texas in the Cotton Bowl, huge rivalry game. But, you know, like I said, I think it's, you know, for us, you know, we know keep the main thing, and, you know, this is another game for us, and we got to go out there and execute and do our job.
The Red River Showdown is Saturday at 11 a.m.
Thanks, Meridith. Rocktober baseball lives on as the Colorado Rockies upset the Chicago Cubs in the NL wildcard game on Tuesday. In what turned out to be the longest elimination game in baseball history, the Rockies took an early 1-0 lead thanks to a Nolan Arenado sac fly. The Cubs would tie it up in the 8th after the double by Javi Baez scored pinch runner Terrence Gore. But in the top of the 13th, an unexpected hero emerged as Colorado catcher Tony Walters knocked in the winning run to send Colorado to the NLDS for the first time since 2009. And tonight, the New York Yankees take on the Oakland Athletics in the AL wildcard game as both teams look to book a date with the Boston Red Sox. You can expect a lot of fireworks tonight from 2 teams who love to hit the long ball. The Yankees, who finished with the most home runs in a single season in baseball history, face off against Chris Davis, who had 46 homers himself. And because it's Wednesday, we are back with everyone's favorite segment, Whiner of the Week. It has been 7 years since Mike Gundy informed the world that he indeed was a man and that he was also 40. And after his team's poor performance against Texas Tech, he decided it was time to go viral again. After Jalen McCleskey announced he would transfer from the program, Mike Gundy threatened to end media access to his players if they asked the players about the transfer. And guys, the Oklahoma State newspaper would go on to rip Gundy a new one for this.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I don't understand why you would tell them they can't.
I mean, clearly that's something they want to talk about and want to learn more about. So
always something new from him. So. Love it. Well, thank you, William. Reno firefighters dealt with a very unique rescue mission.
Coming up, we have more on just what these firefighters found at their station. I'm Talon Forbis at the OU Nightly Update Desk. On Monday, we reported on Wesley Seeley, who died after being electrocuted in OKC's downtown canal. Today, OKC officials inspected the lampposts and discovered they are not grounded. The posts were installed in 1998, and now the codes are outdated. The updated codes require a stray current goes back to the ground before a loose wire causes a shock. Brandon Gann, who jumped in the canal to help, remains in critical condition. Follow OU Nightly on social media for more updates. Back to you.
Thanks, Talon. Today, a childhood fable came to life, but Goldilocks was nowhere to be found. Luckily for these bears, firefighters in Reno, Nevada discovered them trapped in a dumpster. The bears were found right outside the fire station when they heard the dumpster tipping over.
3 bear cubs were rescued successfully and headed back to the woods where their porridge must have been getting cold by now. Firefighters later tweeted they saw the mama bear watching the mission from afar.
Pretty funny stuff over there.
Yeah.
Do you have a
well,
little tip
you
for us?
guys, OU Texas is this weekend, and there might be some rain, but I think the rain will hold off until after the game, and we'll be staying out of the 90s in Dallas, which is good.
Good deal. I like it. Well, thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.